Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the Red Zone here at Hicksville High School as we are getting ready for girls basketball action on what is a Tuesday night here in Northwest Ohio. The Montpelier Locomotives have made the trip south from up in Williams County to match up against the homestanding Lady Aces of Hicksville. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Murphy with Hicksville Community Television. And with me tonight on the camera and the headset microphone B, Ben Vanden Boss. Together, we're going to be bringing you, first off, coverage of the junior varsity matchup between the Aces and the Montpelier Locomotives. It's the first of 2.5 games here tonight. And I honestly mean it, 2.5 games. And you're wondering, what's he talking about? Well, the answer is pretty simple. This is Special Olympics night here at Hicksville. And between the JV and the varsity games, we're going to have a mini game, a scrimmage, between the Defiance and the Williams County Special Olympics teams. So we'll talk more about that when we get closer to that happening between the games. Right now, getting ready to tip things off here for the junior varsity squads. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Montpelier Locomotives. Their starting five tonight. Number 3 will be Tristan Bexton, a 5'2" freshman. Playing at guard. Number 14 is Maya Taylor. Number 20, Emily Fritsch. Number 22, Sonia Alvira. And finally, number 44 will be Allie Rep. So again, starting five, Bexton, Taylor, Fritsch, Alvira, and Rep. For the Aces, they're starting five, pretty familiar by now. Number 5, Riley Figgins, the sophomore or the junior. Number 10 is Noelle Nuttall, also a junior. Number 12, Maddie Eicher, the freshman. Number 20, Kennedy Phillips, another freshman, getting the start tonight, as is number 25, Kelsey Monroe. So they'll be the matchups to get things started. And we're glad to have you with us here as we're getting ready for JV basketball first up on this Tuesday night. Again, a thank you to the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships underwriting our coverage here this evening. And Ben for running camera for us tonight. Yep. 6 minutes on the game clock. We'll get ready to start things off. It'll be Figgins jumping center circle with Allie Rep at 5'7". Excuse me, that's number 14. Maya Taylor. Taylor at 5'9". Tip controlled by the Locomotives. We're underway. Working around the perimeter, driving into the paint, pulling up, looking for a shot. Nothing there, and carried the ball and traveled. So turnover to the Aces. That was Fritsch that got the whistle that time. Inbounds to Nuttall. She'll toss it over to Phillips. Phillips back to Nuttall. Noelle drives into the paint, kicks it back out. Shot by Figgins off the glass, no good. And the board goes to Allie Rep. Rep tosses it back over to Bexton. Bexton flips the ball over to Fritsch again. Shot up, no good. Figgins with the board. Tosses it to Nuttall. Noelle quickly up the floor. She'll stop, put up the jump shot, no good. Locomotives come up with the ball.
From here, it looked like she got hacked in the arm.
Well, no whistle, so you can't believe your eyes, Ben. You got to just believe the official's whistle. And there we have a whistle and a blocking foul. And that's going to be, I believe, on Eicher, her first personal and team foul number 1. Locos will have the ball out of bounds. They'll get it into Bexton. Bexton will pull the trigger right away off the iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Nuttall. Nuttall tosses it ahead, too far to Phillips, out of bounds. And it'll go back to the Lady Locos. Fritsch looking to get the ball inbounds for Montpelier. She does. Guarded by Nuttall. And some full court pressure. Now Eicher on her too. She's into a double team, and Eicher's going to get her second personal foul as she'll get whistled for the reach in. Maddie Eicher getting the start tonight, and here we are just 90 seconds into the game. She's picked up 2 personal fouls. And she'll go have a seat in for her, Serenity Keysbury, number 4. Toss down. Taylor looking for some help. Pitches it back out to Alvira. Alvira over to Bexton. Bexton to Alvira on the wing. That's down to Rupp. Rep out of bounds and back to the Lady Aces.
Almost a minute in, nobody scored.
Nope, we're still at 0-0. Monroe over to Nuttall. Quickly down the floor to Figgins. Figgins back to Phillips at top of the key. Nuttall on the wing. To Phillips. Phillips almost loses the ball, gets it back. Nuttall looking things over. Noel will start to drive. She'll get hit, and the ball will come loose. Noel gets the ball back. Gets it to Phillips. Phillips will drive the hoop. No good. Rebound being volleyballed around, and Rep is going to wind up with it for Montpelier. She'll clear the board, toss it over to Bexton, and will come back the other way. Bexton across the timeline down to Alvira. Bounce pass inside, up, off the top of the backboard, no good. Monroe with the rebound for the Lady Aces. Tries to feed it inside to Phillips. It's going to get knocked out of bounds, and they'll say Phillips touched it last, so it'll go to Montpelier. Quick substitution as Fritsch will come out of the game, as does Taylor, and in number 10, Lindsay Engels. And also number 5, Tori Steffes.
And 0-0.
0-0 out there, too. That is Higbee. And we're going to have a whistle and out of bounds on the sideline. So that'll turn it over to the Lady Aces. Monroe will inbounds to Phillips. Phillips to Monroe. Monroe off the glass, no good. Loose ball. Nuttall with the rebound, and it's going to be a jump foul between Noel Nuttall and about 3 Montpelier Lady Locomotives. Possession arrow points to the Lady Aces, so they'll retain possession of the ball. Quick inbounds to Keysbury. Serenity around the perimeter over to Phillips. Phillips to Nuttall down in the corner. Bounce pass to Monroe. Tries to get it out to Phillips, and it's intercepted by Alvira. She tosses it over to Steffes, who puts it up and in, and that's the first 2 points of the night. 2:32 left in the first quarter. It's a 2-0 lead for the Lady Locomotives. Monroe down low. Nuttall up, no good. And again, cleared by Steffes. Steffes, long pass down, nobody there, out of bounds. And we'll see, did Phillips get a hand on it or not?
Yeah.
And they're going to say that, nope, she did not. I thought she might have got a piece of the ball as it zipped by, but not the case. Into the game, Patience Salisbury, wearing number 41 for the Lady Aces. She inbounds the ball to Monroe, back to Patience, up, easy, there's nobody there. And almost took a shot at the wrong basket. That's why there was nobody there. So Salisbury didn't get it in, because that would have been one of those bad mistakes that you just have a hard time living down. Keysbury with the putback, no good. Everybody goes for the rebound, out of bounds. Montpelier's ball. And we're going to have a brief stoppage by the officials for a substitution, as Rep will come out for the Locos, and into the game, number 32, Rachel McIntosh. McIntosh gets the ball under the hoop, puts it up and in. McIntosh makes it a 4-0 game.
That name sounds familiar. McIntosh. Sounds familiar.
It's a kind of apple.
I think it was from North Central, or someone who just played.
That's all right. Monroe, Figgins, Salisbury to Keysbury, puts it up, no good. Salisbury under the hoop. And she's going to, there's going to be a whistle, and they're going to say foul. Well, no.
It was tipped.
They're going to say tip. Actually, I think they're going to say that was a foul on number 5, Tori Steffes. That'll be their first team foul.
Okay. He went like this, so.
Well, then we missed one because they've got a foul up for number 5, Tori Steffes, and one team foul for the Locos. 1:11 left to go here in the first quarter. Baxton with the ball for Montpelier, tosses it over to Steffes. Down to McIntosh. McIntosh back to Bexton, and we're going to have a whistle. And that's going to be on Kennedy Phillips. That'll be team foul number 3 on the Lady Aces. 56.3 seconds. Inbounds over to Higbee. She'll toss it back to Bexton. Locos moving it around on the point now. Bexton. She'll move towards the top of the key. Down to Matt. Long shot, and that's good for 3 for Tristan Bexton. 7-0 Montpelier. And a whistle and a turnover. Bexton with the ball for the Lady Locos. Over to Steffes. Steffes kicks it out to Engels. Engels into the paint. She'll back out down to Higbee. Back to Steffes. And that'll be a foul on on Serenity Keysbury. And that's going to put her to the line to shoot 2. Keysbury's first personal. Team foul number 4 on the Lady Aces. And that's going to put Tori Steffes on the line. Shooting 2. First one no good. Misses them both. Rebound comes down to Patience Salisbury. We're going to have a whistle. And that's going to be another foul on Steffes for pushing off. Her second personal. She'll come out. Aces will get the ball out of bounds. Inbounds to Monroe. Monroe down to Story. And Story hits the deck hard along with number 32, McIntosh for Montpelier. McIntosh is going to pick up the foul. He indicated number 32, but that was a little problematic because both Story and McIntosh wear number 32. But Aces with the ball. Keysbury with the shot, no good. Stolen away, but not in time to get a shot off by Phillips. And that'll bring the first quarter of action to a close here at the junior varsity game. And after 6 minutes, it's the Montpelier Locomotives leading the Lady Aces of Hicksville 7-0. Quick break here between quarters and a quick timeout for us to say a big thank you to the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio, our basketball broadcast underwriters making our coverage of Lady Aces basketball possible during the 2017-18 season. We want to thank them so very much for their continued support, and we hope that you will show your support of them as well. Remember, whenever you see Aces basketball action on Hicksville Community Television, they're the ones that help make it possible. The Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, the Jim Schmidt Truck Lot, and of course online where you can check out the entire inventory of all the dealerships at jimschmidtauto.com. Just about ready to get things underway here in quarter number 2. Lady Aces shut out in the first 6 minutes. They're behind 7-0. Montpelier will have the ball to get things started here. They'll inbounds it to Elvira. Elvira, guarded by Phillips, into the paint, kicks it back out to Fritsch. Shot up, no good. Sam Klima with the rebound to Nuttall to Phillips. Phillips passes it off to Nuttall just across half court. Noel bounce pass to Phillips. Phillips to Monroe. Back to Nuttall. Back to Phillips on the wing. Inside to Klima. Turnaround jumper is good. Samantha Klima breaks the scoring ice for the Lady Aces and makes it a 7-2 game. Montpelier, bad pass, but grabbed on the floor by Allie Rep, and it stays with the Lady Locas. Elvira once again with the ball, guarded by Phillips, and once again bounce pass down low. Rep up and good. Allie Rep gets her first bucket of the night, makes it 9-2. Monroe, stolen by Elvira. Elvira bounce pass, up and good for Fritsch.
That bounce passes are dangerous.
And that's going to cause an Aces timeout, first of the game. A full 1 minute timeout. As the JV coach needing to talk things over.
I know his last name is Martin.
They kick on the jams here. Locos leading the Aces by 9 here in the second quarter of this junior varsity game, 11-2. So far, 14 fouls for Hicksville, 3 for Montpelier. And again, this first timeout of the game. Aces brought in Samantha Klima, and she generated some offense, but again, some quick hands and a turnover and an easy lay-in by Fritsch. And we need to talk and get everybody refocused. The Aces will break huddle. Keysbury back in the game for Hicksville. So it'll be Monroe, Klima, Keysbury, Nuttall, and Figgins on the floor for the Lady Aces. Inbounds to Klima, to Keysbury. Keysbury across the timeline to Nuttall. Noel drives down, almost loses the ball, gets it out of there to Monroe. Monroe puts it up off glass, no good. Phillips going for the rebound, and she gets it on, Nuttall winds up with it. Keysbury top of the key over to Monroe. Monroe to Keysbury once again. Now Nuttall on the wing. Bounce pass inside. And we're going to have a foul. She tried to bounce it into Figgins. That'll be a common foul. It'll be the first one of the night on Allie Rep. Monroe into Keysbury, way too long, out of bounds, and that should go to Monroe. I think it bounced off of Nuttall. Working to maybe get the rebound. Ball inbounds by Pease, number 24, down to Rep. Quickly down the floor, that's Taylor. Taylor bouncing, looking for some help, and she traveled. Lady Aces defense generates the turnover. 3:59 to go here in the first half. 2 minutes into this second quarter. Kelsey Monroe tosses it to Noel Nuttall, down to Figgins, who puts it up, no good. That'll be out of bounds. It should stay with the Lady Aces. Last touched by Pease. Pease will come out, and back into the game, number 20, Fritsch. Monroe to Nuttall. Nuttall, Noel takes it out top of the key. Spin move, kicks it back out to Serenity Keysbury. Keysbury back to Monroe. Monroe to Nuttall once again. Aces will see if they can get something to open up. They try to get it into Klima, nothing there. So they'll bring it back out. Try again. Nuttall to Keysbury. Keysbury back to Noel. Off her hands and out of bounds. Ball inbounds to Bexton for Montpelier. Bexton down to Rep. Over to Elvira. She gets it for 3. Sonia Elvira from long distance makes it a 14-2 game. Figgins to Klima. Klima bounce pass down to Nuttall off the iron, no good. Put back Klima, no good. Another try by Klima, no good, but she'll draw the foul. So the Lady Aces getting plenty of shots on goal, just nothing going through the hoop for them. And that'll put Samantha Klima at the line. That'll be the second foul on Allie Rep, by the way, and team foul number 5 for the Lady Locomotives. Klima misses the first one. Phillips and Story coming into the game. Keysbury and Figgins will step out. Also in, number 54, Cameron Schlosser for the Locomotives. In and out, no good, and a whistle. And they're going to say lane violation Montpelier, so Klima will get to retake the second shot. So far, Klima has all of the Lady Aces points, both of them.
They only have 2.
That one's no good. Taylor with the board, over to Bexton. Bexton launches it down to Avila. Or Elvira, excuse me. Back to Bexton. She'll move around. 2.5 minutes left in the half. Fritsch back out to Bexton. Over to Elvira. Elvira stops, kicks it back out to Bexton from inside the line. No good. Rebound Monroe. Monroe down to Story. Story bounce pass, and it's loose on the floor. And it's going to be a jump ball. Nuttall and Elvira get locked up. Kelsey Monroe will come out of the game, and back in will be Maddie Eicher. Eicher had to come out early in the first half, or in the first quarter, picking up 2 quick personal fouls. Eicher to Phillips. Phillips, no good. Rebound, Fritsch. Fritsch for the Locos into the paint, and she is going to travel. Tried the spin move on Nuttall and moved both feet while she was holding the ball. So Eicher in to Klima to Phillips. Phillips looking for some help. Bounce pass down to Story. Story's going to be fouled by Schlosser, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. That's team foul number 6. So the Lady Aces 1 away from being in the bonus. They could use it. They're down by a dozen, 14-2. Story. Shot. There we go.
Such a lucky bounce.
Bounced around and dropped in. She'll get one more. Second one, also good, and Allison Story makes it a 10-point game. Fritsch inbounds to Bexton, guarded by Eicher. Slapped out of bounds. Nice catch by the gal at the scoring table. It'll stay with Montpelier with 1:38 seconds left in the half. Eicher making it tough on her. And we're going to have a timeout, Montpelier. She was having too hard of a time finding somebody to get the ball to on the inbounds. So JV coach Jody Grime calls the timeout for the Lady Locomotives. Quick 30-second timeout as they're going to try to maintain that 10-point advantage going into the halftime locker room. Again, we're kind of looking forward to between the games tonight. We're going to have a Special Olympics scrimmage, a mini game between the Defiance County Good Samaritan Tigers and the Sharks of Williams County. We've got a few Hicksvillians that are on the Tigers team, and we're hoping for a good crowd here to root them on. Bexton with the ball for the Locomotives. Cross half court. Bexton with the ball. 90 seconds left before halftime. Over to Fritsch. Fritsch looking for something to open up. Nothing there. Back to Bexton on the wing. Bexton will take it to the top of the key. She'll pull the trigger from the free throw line. No good. And we're going to have another jump ball on the rebound. Noelle Nuttall in there one more time. That time she was trying to rip the ball out of the hands of Summer, number 40. Possession arrow keeps the ball with Montpelier. Long inbounds to Elvira. Elvira with 1:10. Guarded by Nuttall. Elvira drives into the paint. Bounce pass up. And that's good for Schlosser. Cameron Schlosser gets her first bucket of the night. Nuttall across the timeline. 52 seconds before halftime. Eicher drives down towards the baseline, and she's going to get pushed. That'll be Elvira, and I think that'll be her first. Indeed it is. Sonia Elvira, first personal foul of the night, and that's team foul number 7. So 46.7 seconds left in the half. The Aces in the bonus. And Maddie Eicher at the line. Gets the first one. Eicher with one more. That one's good too. 4 points for the Lady Aces on the free throw line. Only 2 from the floor. They're down by 10, 16-6, and we're going to have another whistle. And that's going to be on Story. Story picks up her first personal. Team foul number 5. Elvira over to Fritsch. 35 seconds. Fritsch drives baseline, puts it up, no good. Comes down into the hands of Eicher. Eicher clears the board. Eicher is going to get hacked on the sideline by Bexton. That'll be Bexton's first. And that'll put Eicher back at the line shooting 1-1 again. Aces need to take advantage of these opportunities to score and pull a little closer with the clock stopped. 25.4 seconds left in the half. And again, Maddie Eicher shooting 1-1. Gets the first one. Eicher missed that one. Story with the board. And Eicher winds up with it once again. Down low to Klima. Out to Phillips. Over to Nuttall. Bounce pass. Tries to get it into Story. Out of bounds. Eicher will come out of the game. Keysbury back in for the Lady Aces. Last touch by a Montpelier Locos player. So Aces ball with 17 seconds. Phillips to Klima. Over to Nuttall. Nuttall driving in. Kicks it back out to Phillips. Phillips with 5 seconds to Nuttall with 3. Noelle. Bingo! A long 2 at the buzzer. And Noelle Nuttall makes it a 16-9 game as the halftime buzzer sounds. So we played the first 12 minutes of this JV game, and our halftime score, it's the Lady Locomotives of Montpelier leading the Hicksville Lady Aces 16-9. Ben and I are going to take a break, but we invite you to stay tuned. We'll be back. We'll have all the exciting second half play-by-play coming your way right here on HIX-TV. welcome back to the Red Zone. Halftime, and in case you're just joining us in this junior varsity game, it's the Lady Locomotives of Montpelier leading the homestanding Hicksville Lady Aces by 7, 16-9. Our halftime score. Taking a look at the unofficial scoring in the first half for the Lady Aces. Pretty quick. Actually, both teams pretty quick. We had 3 free throws and 3 points for Maddie Eicher to lead all scorers for the Lady Aces. Aside from that, a bucket and 2 for Noelle Nuttall, a bucket and 2 for Samantha Klima, and 2 free throws and 2 points for Allison Story. On the other side of the coin, the Lady Locomotives, it broke down this way. They had a 3-point field goal from Tristan Bexton. She has 3. And Sonia Alvira also with 3 points off of a 3-pointer. They are tied for the leading scorer on the Montpelier side. Aside from that, a bucket and 2 from Tori Staffis, a bucket and 2 for Emily Fritsch, bucket and 2 points from Rachel McIntosh, bucket and 2 points for Allie Rep, and a field goal for 2 points from Cameron Schlosser. So there you have it. Nobody really being the scoring leader. Everybody with either 2 or 3 points. It's just that there have been a few more Locomotives that have scored 2 or 3 points than there have been Lady Aces. Had the Special Olympians out doing their warm-ups during the halftime. And now we are underway in the third quarter with Kennedy Phillips over to Maddie Eicher. As the Aces have the ball to start off the third quarter. Eicher to Nuttall at the top of the key. Down to Kelsey Monroe. Monroe to Klima. Bounce pass back to Eicher and back to Phillips. I'll reset, try it again. Phillips inside to Klima, up off glass, no good. And the putback from Eicher, no good. And Klima trying to get another one, and there'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow to Montpelier. So, again, some good looks at the hoop for the Lady Aces, but just not able to get anything to go down. Slapped away by Nuttall, but right into the hands of Taylor. Shot from Elvira is good for 2. Nuttall to Phillips. Down to Eicher in the corner to Klima. Klima in a double team, and it'll be another jump ball. The Lady Aces should have it this time, as she got tied up with Rep. Monroe into Eicher. Back to Monroe. Turnaround bounce pass up, and good. Counted for Klima. She's going to go to the line. Sam Klima gets the bucket. And the foul will be the second personal on Sonia Alvira. Klima looking to complete the 3-point play. And she does. Pulls the Lady Aces within 6. 18-12. Fritsch to Alvira. And Alvira traveled. Took that little stutter step before she passed the ball. And it'll be back to the Lady Aces at half court. Kelsey Monroe handling the inbounds. Looking things over. Flips it down to Klima on the sideline. Out to Phillips. Phillips looking things over to Monroe on the wing. Monroe, drive in, kick it back out to Nuttall. Nuttall, bounce pass up, no good. And she'll be hacked and go to the line to shoot 2. And that will be the first personal on number 14, Maya Taylor. And team foul number 2 on the Locomotives here in the second half. And Noelle Nuttall, who is at the line. And no good. Noelle hasn't been the strongest performer at the free throw line so far.
The foul line's been our friend.
Yeah, but not for Noelle. Let's see if she can get one. And she does. There we go. (18-13). Nuttall's free throw pulls the Lady Aces within 5. They're not done yet. Elvira on the wing. Tosses it over to Fritsch. Fritsch drives in, no good. Ball on the floor. Rep went to get it, and there's going to be a whistle and a foul, and I think that's going to send Rep to the line.
Sure will.
And that's going to be on Phillips. Kennedy's second personal, and team foul number 1 for the Lady Aces in this second half. And Allie Rep at the line for Montpelier. She'll shoot 2, misses the first one. Rep's second shot, bouncing around, also no good, and Monroe clears it out, gets it to Maddie Eicher. Eicher going coast to coast, slapped out of her hands by Elvira, and Elvira quickly the other way. Elvira cross half court, and she tripped herself over Nuttall. Nuttall, they're going to wave it off and say she traveled on her way to the hoop. Elvira didn't get tripped because Nuttall was not moving. She had a fixed position, and it was Elvira that moved into Noel and tripped herself. Back in action after the travel call, turns it over, and Bexton with the ball for Montpelier, guarded by Nuttall. Bexton out to the top of the key. Inside to Rep. Rep guarded by Monroe, powers her way in, turnaround jumper up, no good, gets her own rebound, and it's taken away by Klima. Sam Klima gets it out of there to Monroe, quickly to Phillips. Phillips takes it across the mid-court line and wasn't paying attention. Elvira comes up behind her and knocks it loose and turns it back over. Bexton comes up with the ball for Montpelier. Almost knocked out of her hands by Phillips. Bexton gets it into Fritsch. Fritsch drives into the paint, up off glass, no good. Saved on the baseline by Phillips, bounce pass to Monroe. Monroe gets it out to Nuttall. Nuttall, long pass down to Eicher. Eicher, bounce pass to Klima, puts it up off glass and good. Samantha Klima has a good series on offense for the Lady Aces, takes it down the floor and gets the points. And the Lady Aces pull within 3, 18-15. Timeout on the floor. Montpelier wants to talk things over after seeing that. They don't want that to become a habit. Lady Aces able to make that kind of conversion down the field. So they're going to take a full 1-minute timeout. As again, we are in the third quarter of action here at the junior varsity game. First of 2 full games being played here at the Red Zone. Non-conference matchups on this Tuesday night against the Locomotives. The Lady Aces will be back in action here at the Red Zone in just a couple of days on Thursday. That'll be in the Green Meadows Conference as they'll match up against the Edgerton Bulldogs. And then they'll be back in action 2 days after that on Saturday as they'll make up the games that were postponed because of inclement weather earlier in the month, and they'll take on the Tenora Lady Rams, which always never makes sense to me. Lady Rams? How's that possible? But Tenora will be in town, and they'll have the JV tip-off for that at 1 o'clock this coming Saturday.
And then after that, like 3 hours later, we have a boys basketball game.
Yep, it'll be a day-night doubleheader. And we'll be there for them all. Bexton. Excuse me, that wasn't Bexton. That was Engels who slipped and fell. Ball in the hands now of Steffies to Elvira. Inside to Rep, who puts it up and doesn't get the bounce. Phillips clears it out of there to Klima, tosses it to Nuttall. Quickly down the floor, Noel stops at the three-point arc. Lets the rest of the team catch up to her. To Phillips at the top of the key. Closing in on 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Nuttall down in the corner. Bounce pass right underneath the hoop up. No good. And the rebound went to Klima, and she's hacked going towards the hoop. And that should put Sam at the line to shoot a couple. That'll be the third personal foul on Allie Rep. And team foul number 3 on the Lady Locomotives. And that'll put Sam Klima at the line again. Her first one's good.
We're getting 2.
Klima with 8 points now. Lady Aces to within a bucket.
She has half of the Aces points right now.
Yep. She has been the scorer. Klima with one more. And that one's no good. Out of bounds. Last touch by Taylor for Montpelier. So Keysbury will handle the inbounds for the Lady Aces, and they'll see if they can maybe tie it up. They're able to get a shot in. Phillips down low off of Klima's hands and taken away by Higby. Higby tosses it over to Bexton. So missed opportunity for the Lady Aces. 1:45 left in the quarter. Engels, and we're going to have a double dribble. I'll turn it back over to the Lady Aces. Minute 41 left in quarter number 3. Aces had been down by 10. Now they're only down by 2. As they battled back into contention here. Keysbury to Phillips. Phillips over to Nuttall on the wing. Nuttall bounce pass, trying to get it down low to Klima. It's intercepted by Taylor. Nuttall giving her some problems on the baseline, but she's able to get it out of there to Steffies. Steffies quickly down the floor to Engels. Engels down low to Higby, off glass, no good. Nuttall grabs the board, and she's off to the races down the floor. She'll stop and let everybody catch up. Noelle Nuttall, guarded by Bexton, gets it to Phillips with under a minute to go in the third quarter. Keysbury back to Nuttall. To Phillips. Timeout on the Aces bench. 51.2 seconds. Aces with the ball. A chance to, well, if they get a bucket, they can tie it up. They're down by 2, 18-16 to the Montpelier Locomotives. And we're going to have, again, a 30-second timeout. Get the play set up here. Just about out of time. Here we go. They'll sound the horn, and the squads will come back out onto the floor. 51.2 seconds, and it'll be Nuttall to inbounds for the Lady Aces. Noelle gets it in to Phillips. Phillips to Keysbury. Back to Nuttall. Nuttall's going to put it up on the baseline. No good. Grabbed by Steffies. Steffies loses the ball but manages to collect it. She'll toss it over to Bexton. Bexton across midcourt. Down to Fritsch. Fritsch going to drive the baseline, and there's going to be a whistle and a push called. That's going to be on Keysbury. That'll be Serenity's second personal, and team foul number 2 for the Aces here in this second half. Inbounds. Bexton puts it up, long distance, no good. And we're going to have a jump ball. And that'll stay with Montpelier. Fritsch launches it in over the head, and that's going to be finally picked up. Steffies quickly back the other way, almost picked her pocket, but well, now it is loose, and it does wind up in the hands of Klima. Klima gets it to Phillips, back to Klima, over to Nuttall. Nuttall takes it down, puts it up off glass, no good. Rebound, it's going to be a jump ball between Nuttall and Steffies. And the possession arrow gives the ball to the Aces with 0.8 of a second left. So they'll be able to maybe inbound it and take a shot. Got it into Nuttall, and she didn't realize how little time there was. So no shot, and that's the end of the third quarter. But the Aces battle back into contention, and after 3, it's the Locos leading Hicksville 18-16, the score. Fire up the Daz band in the background. While they drop a bomb on us, I'm going to drop some wisdom on you in terms of saying a big thank you to our basketball broadcast underwriters, the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships right here in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick and the Jim Schmidt Ford, once again lending us their underwriting support and making our basketball broadcast possible here on Hicksville Community Television. And as I always say, that if you're in the market for a vehicle, whether you want one that's brand new or pre-owned, to be it car, truck, van, or SUV, owe it to yourself to stop by and check out the great selection they have on the lots at the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships, Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick and Jim Schmidt Ford. And, of course, you can check out the entire inventory of all the dealerships online anytime at jimschmidtauto.com. I want to thank them again for their underwriting support. Here we go, last 6 minutes, or at least in regulation. 2-point game. Bexton with the ball for the Lady Locomotives, guarded by Phillips. Bexton to Fritsch. Fritsch tries to get it into Rep. It's deflected. Higbee gets a hold of it, but then she loses it. And Alvira's got it. And they've been tossing it around. Lady Aces coming close to getting the ball away from them, but not quite able to do it. Fritsch with the ball, or excuse me, Bexton with the ball on the wing. Guarded by Phillips once again. Tristan Bexton tosses it to Fritsch. Fritsch guarded by Monroe, and we're going to have a whistle. And they're going to give that to Kelsey. So Kelsey Monroe, her first personal of the night. That's team foul number 3. Aces can afford to burn a few fouls here on the floor. Fritsch inbounds to Bexton. Bexton launches it to Fritsch on the wing. Drives in, puts up the layup. It's good, and she's going to go to the line. Emily Fritsch, her first points of the second half. Draws the foul.
Phillips.
And that's going to be the third personal on Kennedy Phillips. Fritsch's free throw, no good. Klima clears the board. Over to Monroe. To Phillips. Phillips across half court. Down to Monroe on the wing. Down to Phillips. Phillips guarded by Rep. Nothing there. Back to Monroe and out to Eicher. Eicher moves around. Tosses to Phillips. Back to Monroe. Eicher tries to drive baseline. Nothing there. And she's going to get pushed. That's going to be on Elvira. That'll be her third personal. And team foul number 4. Quick inbounds and stolen away by Fritsch. Fritsch gets it to Bexton. Bexton stolen by Eicher. Tried to get it down to Elvira. Elvira gets it away from Eicher. It's loose on the floor and it's picked up by Monroe. Back to Eicher. Eicher quickly down the floor into a double team. Backs it out. Over to Phillips. Phillips to Monroe. 2 minutes gone in this fourth quarter. Bounce pass to Klima. And it's going to be a jump ball on the floor between Klima and Rep. Possession arrow will keep the ball with the Lady Aces. 3:59 left in regulation. Locos up by 4 now, 20-16. Monroe gets it into Eicher, right back to Monroe. Monroe gets it stripped out of her hands, though, by Rep. And Rep tosses it over to Elvira, and she brings it across midcourt. 3:45 left in the game. Elvira to Bexton. Tries to get it down low, and it's knocked out of bounds by Phillips. Nuttall and Story back into the game. Eicher will come out along with Figgins. You're going to say last touched by Hicksville. That's what I thought. Fritsch looking to get the ball inbounds. Launches it in, and it's going to be over Elvira's head. Elvira's going to get it stolen by Nuttall. Noel puts it up off glass, no good, gets her own rebound, puts it up again, count it, and she's going to the line. Noelle Nuttall gets the job done. Puts in the bucket, makes it a 2-point game, and she's going to be shooting a free throw here. Draws the foul. That's going to be number 4 on Sonia Elvira. And she'll have a seat. 3:29 left in the contest. Also coming out for a breather is Higby. Back in the game, number 14, Maya Taylor. Nuttall at the free throw line. Off the glass, no good. Bexton grabs the rebound. It stays a 2-point game, 20-18. Bexton to Fritsch. Fritsch drives in, kicks it back out to Bexton. Bexton goes over to the top of the key, and it's going to be on Phillips. Kennedy Phillips picks up her 4th foul, and team foul number 5 now for the Lady Aces. And Kennedy will come out of the game. Maddie Eicher back in for her. So Phillips and Elvira, 2 of the leading players on both squads, sitting on the bench right now for fouls. Knocked out of bounds by Nuttall. Montpelier will reset, try to get it back in again. Fritsch gets it in to Steffes. Inside to Rep. It's almost stolen away, and we're going to have a whistle. The ball goes out of bounds. Nuttall was in there. And knocked out of bounds by Noelle Nuttall. Steffes with the ball for Montpelier. Over to Fritsch on the wing, guarded by Monroe. Down into the corner, Steffes once again. Out to Taylor, and back to Bexton. Bexton all alone, top of the key, but doesn't pull the trigger. Down to Taylor, nothing doing. Steffes to Fritsch as they continue to take the air out a little bit here. Driving baseline, kicks it out to Taylor. Taylor, good look from the free throw line, no good. Story tried to save the ball, stepped on the end line. Noelle Nuttall went down hard. She's coming up a little gimpy. Elvira back in the game. She'll spell Bexton. And Phillips back in the game as well, as Nuttall comes off wincing a little bit. And we're going to have another timeout on the floor. A full 1-minute timeout called by the Aces. Hicksville only down by a bucket, so they are far from being out of contention in this game. We had a JV game go to double overtime earlier last week, so we can handle it if that's what it takes. Again, Montpelier leading by a bucket, 20-18. Both the Aces and the Locos have committed 5 team fouls here in this second half. Aces with 3 timeouts remaining, and Montpelier with 2. And as we said, when we wrap this one up, we'll give you some scoring real quickly, and we'll probably have a pretty quick wrap up so we can switch out tapes real fast, and we're going to be, we'll be covering the mini game, the scrimmage between the Special Olympians here tonight before the varsity contest. Fritsch gets the ball into Rep, right back to Fritsch. Fritsch on the baseline, gets it back out to Rep. Rep to Steffes with just about 2 minutes left in regulation. Fritsch now tries to get it in, and it's deflected by Monroe. She comes up with it, tosses it over to Phillips, guarded by Steffes. Phillips works her way across half court, down to Monroe. Monroe over to Story. Eicher drives in, sets, shoots, no good, but she'll be fouled and go to the line to shoot 2. And I think that's going to be it for Sonia Alvira. She fouls out with 1:41 left in the contest, and she'll finish up with 5 points on the night. Eicher gets the first one. Maddie Eicher makes it a 1-point game. Eicher short, and it's grabbed by Taylor. Taylor over to Steffies. Steffies carried the ball, and it's going to be a turnover. So the Aces get the ball back. 1:35. They're down by 1. Phillips as the Montpelier Locomotives some full court pressure. Almost loses the ball. Gets it to Eicher off of her hands and out of bounds, and they'll turn it over to Montpelier. Minute 28. And the Locos get the ball back. Fritsch tosses it in to Rep. Rep, couple of dribbles, tosses it to Bexton at the top of the key. Bexton over to Steffies. Steffies takes it in, flips it over to Fritsch. Guarded by Monroe. Fritsch tries to take it in, nothing doing. Kicks it back out. Bexton takes the shot, out of bounds. Going to stay with Montpelier, last touched by Story. Nuttall will come in, and Allison Story will come out. Minute 8 left to go. Aces down by 1. Ball out of bounds, and it'll be Hicksville's ball. So here come the Lady Aces. Minute 7. They've got possession. They're down by 1. Monroe gets it into Nuttall. Nuttall launches it down to Phillips. Phillips drives the hoop, no good. Tie up and a jump ball between Klima and Taylor. Montpelier's ball, 58 seconds. Into Steffies. Steffies back to Fritsch. Fritsch. And that's going to be a foul. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Eicher or Nuttall. Well, they're not indicating either. Into Bexton. Bexton. And we're going to have offensive foul, moving pick on number 5, Tori Steffies. That'll be her third. And timeout on the Aces bench. 47.8 seconds. As again, this one's going to go down to the wire. There's no doubt about it. 1-point game. Maybe whoever has the ball last walks away a winner. Or if they don't make the shot, they put one in the loss column. We'll see what happens. Full 1-minute timeout on the bench from the Aces. Both squads, 2 timeouts remaining. It's kind of academic unless, of course, we do happen to go to overtime. In which case, the squads they'll get an extra timeout and put an extra 3 minutes on the clock. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to see if we can wrap this one up in regulation time. And hopefully, with the Aces getting the ball here, they'll be able to get something set up. Kelsey Monroe will have the ball here. To inbounds and gets it into Phillips. Phillips to Monroe to Nuttall. Noel gets it across half court. And it's partially deflected, and another jump ball. And that should stay with the Aces with 38.1 seconds. They'll have it a little closer to the bucket for the inbounds play this time. Monroe down into the corner to Phillips. Back to Monroe, and we're going to have another jump ball, and that's going to go Montpelier's way. So, Fritsch. And we're going to have a timeout on the Montpelier bench.
Jeez. It's 34.8 seconds. It's going to take 2 hours.
Now, Ben. That's the game. So, just make sure we don't run out of tape.
We're at 4 minutes.
Well, this would be a good time to switch out.
Okay.
Got a minute timeout here. And that's going to be a foul on Maddie Eicher. That'll be her third personal. Team foul number 6 on the Aces. Closing in on getting into the bonus, 32.1 seconds. Rep gets the inbound, tosses it to Steffies. Steffies down the floor, kicks it back out to Rep. Back to Steffies with 23 seconds. They're going to make the Aces foul, or they're going to run out of time. Fritsch, and Fritsch is going to get fouled. And that'll be 1-1 for the Locomotives. Aces are in the bonus too. So, Fritsch at the line shooting 1-1. Team is up by a point. Emily Fritsch hits the first one. That hurts. That makes it a 2-point game with 15.3 seconds. Fritsch gets that one too, and that makes it a 3-point contest and another timeout. 15 seconds exactly in the game. The Aces will have the ball, and their only hope is going to be either to hit the 3-point field goal or to get the bucket and a foul and a chance to go to the line. Or I suppose if they wanted to win it, they could try to get a 3-point shot and a foul and go for a 4-point line play, but you don't see that too often.
Only in the NBA.
So here we go. Again, a full 1-minute timeout. Both teams with one timeout remaining.
The last couple seconds are stressful.
Yeah. So 15 seconds left on the game clock when we get back into action here. Again, the Locos up by 3, 22-19. The Aces battling back from a 10-point deficit, closing the gap to 1 point, just not able to get over that hump. They had their opportunities, but came up short, had some bad luck, and that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. But the Aces are not out of it yet. They've got 15 seconds. They're going to need to go the length of the floor. Klima to Phillips. Phillips across the timeline. Phillips down, lays it up, no good. Eicher with the putback, no good. Klima takes it from her, no good. Nuttall. And finally we're going to have a whistle, and that's going to be on Taylor with 3.4 seconds and Noelle Nuttall at the line to shoot 2. Nuttall misses the first one. That might do it for the Lady Aces.
Don't say that.
She'll have one more. Gets that one. 6 points for Nuttall tonight, and another timeout immediately. It'll be a 30-second timeout, and that'll be the last one for the Aces. So they're going to have a little over 3 seconds to work with, and they're going to have to try to figure out a way to get the ball back.
Full court pressure on the half-court side.
See if they can get a 5-second call on the inbounds, or see if they can pick off the inbounds pass. Or see if they can foul right away. And preferably foul someone that's not got the best free throw percentage. 3.4 seconds. And here we go. Here come the Locomotives. It's going to be Higbee to handle the inbounds pass. Higby going to launch it, and it's going to go out of bounds. So heads up play by Noelle Nuttall. She did not go after the ball, and the Aces are going to have it underneath the bucket. Keysbury coming out, Figgins coming out, Klima, Story, Eicher, Nuttall, and Phillips on the floor for Hicksville. 3.1 seconds. Lady Aces, thanks to the Nuttall free throw, down by 2. A bucket ties it. Eicher looking to get the ball in bounds, bounces it in. Loose on the floor, and turnaround jumper at the buzzer, wave it off, no good. And that'll do it. It'll be a loss for the JVs as they go down 22-20 to the Lady Locomotives of Montpelier. And let me do some quick tallying here, and we will get you unofficial scoring for the evening. And there we go. Let's run it down for the Lady Aces tonight. It looks like this. Leading all scorers tonight was Samantha Klima, 3 field goals and a couple of free throws for 8 points. She was followed by Noelle Nuttall, who finished up with 6 this evening. 4 points for Maddie Eicher and 2 for Kelsey Monroe. On the winning side for the Montpelier Locos, it was Bexton with 3, Steffies with 2. Emily Fritsch led all scorers for Montpelier with 6. 5 points for Elvira before she fouled out. 2 points tonight for McIntosh, 2 for Rep, and 2 for Cameron Schlosser. Again, those are unofficial numbers, but there you have it. And again, another one in the loss column for the Lady Aces as they drop a bit of a heartbreaker, 22-20 to the Montpelier Lady Locomotives. Hey, I want to say a big thank you once again to the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships underwriting our basketball broadcast coverage here tonight. And with that, we're going to wrap things up because we've got another game to cover coming up right away. So for Ben Vandenbos on the camera, I'm Bill Murphy for Hicksville Community Television, wishing you good night and good sport.